Well, the red dot. I think this is one place where I feel a little too small for the stature of the stage. Otherwise, I've grown up listening to the fact that I'm a little too large for the height that I've come with. But again, ALL, all is one of the plus size brands that I usually go to, besides Gia and whatever is available. You know, plus size clothing is a struggle for me, you know, when it comes to choice of clothing. Now, it's the holiday season, isn't it? And most of us have plans for the new year. Anyone in the room who does not have a plan for the 31st December? Anyone here? Well, then this talk is for you. When I call it a plan, I'm not really talking about a dinner date. It can be anything, right? It can be a ball. It can just be about meeting an old friend. It can be a family gathering. Anything other than binge watching Netflix in my mind is a plan, right? So, but then every time there is a plan, there is something that happens along with the plan. There is the pressure of looking good, because you can't just step out of your house, frizzy hair, dry scalp, right? So what do I do when there is a plan? Now, obviously, even I have the pressure of looking good. I want to look good. Who doesn't want to look good here, right? So we all go to, what do? The fake dopamine that comes from good clothing, a swanky new haircut. And I actually have believed for a very long time that all of this is going to make me look great, right? I go sit on that hot seat in a salon where the hairstylist is looking at me, and then, you know, I get this one question a lot. Any salon I go to, there is one common question that I get. Ma'am, what is the shampoo that you use? I may change the salon, or I go to the same salon, it doesn't mind. But every stylist has this question. You know, he has already decided that my shampoo is not working. But you know what? This guy doesn't know that I grew up in a beauty parlor. My mom is a beautician. So I do understand the difference between products with ammonia and without, right? But the guy has already made an opinion. Thinning hair, you know, if I open my hair, sometimes it does look like a toilet brush. What can I do about it, right? That is the hair I've come with, right? So anyway, keeping the bad hair days aside, the point here is, I now decide that the hair part, okay, while I'm paying the bill, hair is looking great, but I'm already carrying an invisible backpack on my back where I've already deposited his opinion, okay? And I'm already getting the small slice of guilt where, chalo, by the time I'm pursuing all my goals and aspirations, I have not given enough time for self-care. It's seen on my body, it's seen on my hair, right? So what do I do now? I now go to the mall. I decide that I'll buy myself some great looking clothes. Well, I have very limited choices when it comes to plus brand, but never mind, I'll still try, right? So I do that. I go to a shop looking for trousers. I struggle with trousers, by the way, right? For whatever, either it's too long, it's too short, it's too tight, or whatever that is, right? And then I try, and by the time I finish this whole exercise, I'm exhausted, right? And when it's actually time to decide to make that call to that good friend who I wanted to visit, I'm drained. I give it a rain check or whatever, and then I say, I'm not interested. I have cancelled on friends in the last minute for the simple fact that the bag that I have been carrying for so many years of my life has gotten heavy. It's become an opinion vault. It is not just a backpack that I'm carrying. I have deposited every single opinion that has come from everywhere, about the color of my skin, the size I'm born with, tall, short, whatever it is. And you know what? This is a blessing in disguise, you know. I'm glad that this happened. You know why? Because this is the state I have lived in for 2 decades of my life, which I want to call as a dark room. It's a rabbit hole that I dug for myself, where I decided to live comfortably. Why? Because I don't like spotlight. All the great introduction that these speakers just gave a little while ago, right? And you know, this actually belongs to 2 different timelines of my life, right? The first part where they described me as a child actor and trained classical dancer, Bharatnatyam, great. This belongs to the time zone where I was before 12, pre-teens, right? We're all born with valor, with strength, with wings to fly, and we can actually soar high. What do we do then? What do we do? By the time you are growing up, by the time you hit your teens, there's something that changes in you. Your internal operating system is hit by a bug called social validation, right? You start taking opinions, and opinions are not bad. I'm not blaming on opinions. Opinions are great. But what you do with that opinion is what really matters. And what did I do? This is what I did. Okay? I took an opinion and I internalized it. Right? There's a difference between holding an opinion and looking at it objectively versus internalizing it. Every time you're taking an opinion, are you giving yourself a mindful pause between the stimulus and the response? That is all that is needed to be done. Right? Take the opinion, look at it, and let it go. You don't have to internalize every single opinion that's coming to you. But unfortunately, I did it. So what happens here is the fact that when you're standing in front of the mirror, what do you really see? When you look at yourself into the mirror, how does it feel? Right? The mirror is no longer a mirror. It has turned into a magnifying glass. Right? It is showing you every single flaw, amplifying it 10x. Right? It is just showing you your shortcomings, because now where is the focus? The focus is on normalcy, perfection, validation. Right? Do we need this baggage? Do you need to carry an invisible backpack on your back all your lives? But I did. 2 long decades. And coming to the second part of my life, where I actually became a chartered accountant, what did I do with that degree? Nothing. I didn't like numbers. I had a brain fog. I couldn't do it well. Well, I mean, I did try to survive in that world for some time. But sometimes I struggled with it. I had a flair for people, and I loved telling stories, which is why I made a swift switch into a different career line. I went into HR, and I did well. I mean, it was not that I had a bad career. I did have a good career. But the point is, when you have come with wings to fly, when you have come with valor, what do you do to yourselves with all of this, right? Unfortunately, that's how I've lived. And the point is, I had no idea that I was struggling with this. I had no clue until I started writing my first book. Okay, I had no idea that I was struggling with body dysmorphia. It is actually a condition. It's a mental health condition where a person is overly obsessed with their own appearance. Okay, the flaw can be minor, it can be imagined, but then a person is living with this for a very long period of time. Now, this is what it looks like on the outside. You know, you're constantly checking into the mirror, you know, or there are people who completely avoid looking into the mirror. I have been on that part where I didn't want grooming. My mom is a beautician. I've grown up in a beauty parlor. So mirror is a part of my everyday life. Social validation is a part of an everyday life where I'm meeting these women who are obsessed with hair, eyebrow, length, thickness, right? And it is not easy. Even in a day and age where there is no Instagram and internet, I have had social validation every single day of my life, because a fat girl is a charity case. Everybody wants to come and throw in 2 cents, right? Eat this beta, don't eat this. Wear this beta, don't wear this. This is what happens. And what do? The backpack has now turned into opinion vault. Just keep depositing. Have you ever tried decluttering it anytime? Simple activity, no? Diwali cleaning house and all of that. We do that. When do we ever declutter our bags? We don't. And the result is 2 decades I have lost. Do you have that much time to waste 2 decades? Don't do that. It is not going to add any value to anybody's life. And while on the outside, it just looks like, you know, you're obsessed with appearance, on the inside, it is not just that. There are deep-rooted issues coming from a very different place, much darker place. You know, I struggled with all of this, a distorted sense of self. You know, I had no idea who I was. Chartered accountant to HR to author to, I don't know, I would have probably become a space scientist, I don't know. Today I might feel something else, right? Clarity? No, because there's a brain fog. Brain is filled with opinions. Feelings of unworthiness, right? And this is difficult because, you know, you might have listened to a generous introduction from the speakers, but I don't value any of it. What is the use? Where are my wings? I have cut my own wings, right? Difficulty in drawing boundaries, right? I have been a people pleaser all my life. The good girl syndrome, right? Achhi beti, achhi wife, achhi bahu, whatever, the good girl syndrome, right? Then what do? You can't say a no to people because you want to be good, right? And you don't have to say no all the time, but at least it's important to learn how to say a no. Otherwise, what happens is, you invite a lot of toxic people into your lives, freeloaders, and energy is limited. By the time you have spent your energy on everybody, you have nothing left for you, right? So invest wisely in opinions and in people, right? Now, how did I recover, right? See, we live in a land called India, which is so rich in mythology, culture, folklore. And we have such beautiful gems handed to us over generations. What do? Either we don't read, or even if we read, we do not understand the deeper meaning to each of these things. Anyone here who doesn't know what this is? Vikram and Betal, right? So a great warrior king like Vikramaditya, right? If he has carried a ghost on his back for weeks and days and months in search of an illusion, we are lesser mortals, aren't we? What are we chasing, right? So then one fine day when I was writing the book, I figured that here is the problem, that my opinions are not my own. There is an internal dialogue that is going on, which is not my own voice. What do? I could have chosen therapy, but I have this thing that I am my own, I am a problem solver by nature. I want to solve it myself because I believe no one understands me the way I do. So I started researching a lot, okay? I researched so much that I figured out what is body dysmorphia, what can be done about it. And then finally I reached the conclusion that the only thing a person needs is awareness. Awareness is underrated, just like authenticity. The day I wrote my first book, it was catharsis because I was liberated. I no longer have to wear masks. This is who I am. Take it or leave it, right? This is my size. This is how I've been born. And, if I as a person cannot really appreciate the skills and talents that I've come with, do you expect somebody else to stand up for you and cheer all the time, right? I have been living as an antagonist of my own life, right? While I should have been my biggest cheerleader, I have kindness for the person sitting next to me. But can I not be kind to my own self, right? So someday I decided I'm going to slay this ghost on my back. I don't want to carry Betal for the next 20 years. 20 years is a long time to waste. The most productive, fertile years of my life gone on body dysmorphia. For what? And I can understand the world we now live in. Opinions are just flying 24/7. Opinion on your performance, on your potential, on your appearance and whatnot. The problem is not with the opinion itself. You post a picture on Instagram. There are 10 likes, comments. There is one sleazy comment that you will definitely get. So toughen up. Why do we have to take it to heart? The pause between the stimulus and the response, right? That is what is important. The most important thing, these are the two most important words of my life, your life. Self-esteem and self-worth. There is a thin line between these two, but there is a line, right? The word itself is self-explanatory. Esteem comes from vanity, from pride, right? From the swanky car that you'll be roaming in, the cool gang of friends that you want to have, the amazing clothes that you wear and the borrowed confidence that comes from all of this, right? Self-esteem, but that's a bubble. At some point it is going to break. The reason is it's fleeting. It is not temporary. The only thing that is temporary is this side, which is not even visible right now with all the light that is there, but it is still there, and that is your self-worth. It is your own internal operating system. The day you decide to let the bug of social validation hit your internal system, what is going to happen to your hard disk? Your hard disk has crashed. You have nothing left in that, right? So the point is, it's a choice that we all have to make. And the day I started, my self-worth was not like this. It was not bright, golden sun the day I started. No, it wasn't. I have lived on negative self-worth I'm 45. For more than 20 years of my life, I have wasted on negative self, right? So it's a journey. But as a chartered accountant, I know this, even if I didn't use the degree. If you don't put a number, okay, if you don't have a baseline, you cannot control that, right? You know this, you must have learned in your MBA as well, right? Anything that you want to measure or control, you need to have a number, a baseline to start with. Start with whatever it is, even if it is negative, minus, whatever, right? Get started. And self-worth is the only rock, right? The more you polish it, the more you talk to yourself, listen to your own internal dialogue, it is going to give you results. Because that is what is going to turn into a diamond, right? It's your own worth. If you are not the person who's going to recognize it, you cannot expect the society to stand up and cheer for you. Well, anyways, the point is, there should be some reason, lotus is the national flower of India. Irrespective of the environment that it was born in, right? If lotus started believing that, oh, I'm come out of this dirt, what will happen to me, right? It's still the national flower. It is still one of the most beautiful flowers that is there, right? Now the point is, you are not your body. You are not your mind. You are just the story you tell yourself. Choose your story wisely. And for all those people who don't have plans for the new year, make one. Call an old friend. Okay, get out of the house. Switch off Netflix. Switch off all the phones. Head out. Because someone somewhere is waiting for you. Just to have a warm cup of coffee. Just to have conversations. Because we're not having real conversations. Hey bro, all is cool. Great. Yes, I agree. But then have a heart-to-heart talk. There's a lot of value in doing that. The kind of energy you will return with after a heartwarming conversation is miraculous. It is difficult, but you have to make a start somewhere, right? And when you go for your New Year party or whatever that you plan to do on 31st, make that decision right now. Put a number to your self-worth and see what happens after that good meeting that you have. And if you have no one else, please call me up. I will come, okay? Anyways, the point is, do something. And BYOB, guys. Bring your own brightness. Thank you. That's my time.